Alrighty, guys, chapter 5 is about um, relations and retention, both at the organizational level and at the individual level. Well, what does that mean? Okay, well, number one, first thing we need to realize is that we need to keep our employees. Remember, that's human capital. Those are the people that actually get the work done so that our organization can be profitable. So we have to have a relationship with them beyond policy, beyond the contract, to make sure that they're happy, that they're motivated, that they have a reasonable um, uh, expectation of being not only determined as valuable, but also being motivated. Because I mean, it's hard to keep up your motivation on a daily level just on your own. The organization has to make sure that they continue by making sure that people always perform at the high levels. How do you continue to have somebody to work at that level? Now, it should be intrinsic as well, meaning that the person should want to um, work and perform always at the high level. But then again, that's not reality. Reality is that we're going to have our good days and our bad days. We just have to help the employee get over the bad days to continue to work at the most productive way as possible. The other thing that we have to do is make sure that while we're doing this, keeping a close knit relationship with the organization, with the employees, then builds that loyalty toward them. The fact that they're going to want to be loyal employees, the fact that they're going to want to make sure that they are not only loyal, but also loyal to the brand name. So that if anybody notices them outside, that they are also the brand image of the organization, saying, hey, don't you work at so and so? And what about this? What about that? So that they can actually talk well about whatever about their employer, whether it's the product or whether the service or whether it's a good place to work. They want to make sure that they've got that relationship with them. The other thing that we want to make sure about also is that um, if people are, um, how do I say this? Um, if we're the organization and we're working with the supervisors and HR is working with the supervisors to also retain employees. There's a lot of employees that will leave based on their work environment, uh, whether work has changed, whether leadership has changed, and it's not the same anymore. Um, and or they're not being valued or paid for the job well done or job performed. They're going to go somewhere else that they're going to get paid for, uh, to perform their duties. One thing that we have to do is to try to keep them motivated, to try to keep them going. It's not just the responsibility of the organization and the supervisor, but it's also the responsibility of the employee as well. What do I mean by that? Well, if they're not happy, then they need to go to the supervisor and say, hey, I've noticed this and this and this. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Um, Making suggestions also that they could be more productive if they did this, if they did that, if we got this technology, if we got that technology. Again, different things that they can do to help things along as well. And then, of course, the retention of the employee, then make sure that all the amount of money that the employer has invested in that employee is going to be seen in their return on investment, meaning that they're going to be making that profit, that goal that they wanted to. So again, the relationship between employer and employee is very not only just important, it's very um, it's not only strategic, but there's a fine line that we have to walk, right? Um, we need to make sure that we're both on equal sides of the coin here so that it's their effort plus our effort meets the goal. What I mean by that is that we also need to make sure that our supervisors are trained so that they themselves can notice when an employee doesn't feel very well to say, hey, I notice you're not doing well. As far as, the look on your face, you look tired. Is there anything I can help you with? Being involved, that's the word, being involved with our employees so they can understand, they realize that they're not just in this huge vacuum of employees, that the supervisor actually know them and genuinely care for their well-being. That then, of course, also builds the loyalty to the organization because of the way they're treated immediately with their supervisors. Okay, so this is it in a nutshell. We're going to also, I'm going to get into a little bit more detail in the lecture summary. You have your assignments that need to get done. And again, don't hesitate to contact me. Um, you know how to get a hold of me if you need to. And I'll see you on the flip side.